just kind of want me to be like, they were like, fuck me. I'm like, can we cuddle first, please? I just want that. Just like cuddling, maybe fucking, and then more cuddling, and then cookies. It's so simple and so easy, but no. People want to make it complicated because they want their...
Just put that on a t-shirt.
They have several t-shirts like that. It just is like cuddle, fucking, and then cuddle.
But they don't have cookies.
Don't have the cookies.
Apparently
on
they're
there.
missing a very important part of the equation.
Well, it really kind of depends on what kind of dessert you want. Do you want cookies? You want pies? Maybe you want a brownie? Maybe you want some sherbet. I don't know. Everyone wants something.
Probably a function of the weather.
It could be, because I think cookies are the simplest, because it's like, okay, you can grab like 2 or 3. They're just kind of right there already. And like there's not, you don't have to have like plates and anything else involved. It's just like cookies in hand.
I'm pretty sure I've said this before at least once, but milk and cookies is the only thing in my entire life that has remained exactly as satisfying now as it was when I was 5.
Yes.
I mean, everything else, like the luster has kind of worn off, but milk and cookies are still every bit as good as I remember.
Especially great after cuddling, then cookies and milk.
I have not, to my recollection, experienced them within that context.
Well, then you are missing out in
I'll
life.
add that to the list of stuff to try should the occasion ever arise.
Yes, because we are trying to get you fucked. Welcome to the Rubber Duck Syndicate, people.
Can't we say, get me a date instead?
No. Fuck Daniel. Please, ladies. Just all kinds of ways. So that he can just be...
We're back to just, broadcasting the internet for, pity sex. Okay, all right.
And are you going to turn it down? You're not. You know you won't.
Okay, we just reviewed the last episode where you tried this whole thing, which was in September.
Yes.
And has that...
They don't know that. Secrets.
But this episode will air... much later than that.
Most likely.
So we will have an experimental... we have a window here. We're going to see how well your first attempt worked.
We'll see.
By the time this one comes around. And then we'll have to have another episode in another 3 months, to evaluate whether actually got me a date. I'm going to say got me a date and not the crass construction that O has decided to use.
Yeah.
Because ladies... I'm actually interested in dating you and, getting to know you as a person. If you would like to not get to know me and go straight to that, I probably wouldn't have an issue with it, but that is not my immediate goal.
I didn't say what this was. You don't know what this is.
I assume you meant making shadow puppets.
Yes.
Ladies, do you like shadow puppets?
It's a euphemism for sex. Girl, get some of this shadow puppet.
I'm glad you were here to explain that. I thought we might have been being too subtle.
Get some of this puppetry, girl. Make it talk.
No woman is ever going to touch me again after this.
I didn't say she was touching you. That's what she's going to do to you. It's going to make you talk like a puppet. Be open to things. All the way open.
I'm not saying no.
Be all the way open to it. At least a handful of openness to it. Oh.
Okay, you have officially crossed the line from trying to get me a date to whoring me out.
I'll just try to make you a living puppet, man.
Couldn't go with marionette.
No, marionettes with the strings.
Yeah, I don't mind a girl tying me up.
You heard it here. Get your ropes ready.
And Daniel was never heard from again.
He died in the most satisfying way ever. Death by Snoo Snoo.
And there's our requisite Futurama reference.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have to recommend something from like Futurama, Simpsons. What else did Matt Groening create? So Futurama,
Disenchanted is his latest.
Disenchanted.
The Life in Hell, but I don't think that might have never had an animated version. It was just a comic strip.
I think they had a couple of things on the Tracy Ullman.
Yeah,
Ullman
I think
show.
they had some shorts from Life is Hell, and that's also where they came up with The Simpsons.
Yeah. All the way back in fucking 86? Like 86, 87?
Yeah, I mean, The Simpsons has been on for what, 40 years now? Not quite 40.
Close to it.
Yeah.
Because I think the first season, I'm not 100% sure.
I was definitely still in elementary school when it came out.
I think it was I want to say it was very much in the late 80s. Yeah. So it had to have been like 88, 89.
Sounds about right. Did you have the Simpsons Sing the Blues album?
I will say, no, we didn't have that one. We got another one. It was I got a cassette tape. So that just aged me right there.
Yeah, I had the cassette tape of the Simpsons Sing the Blues.
But it was like a couple other songs on there. I'm not sure if it was Singing the Blues, but there was there might have been other ones that.
Maybe there were, but I just remember the Simpsons Sing the Blues was one I had, which had among other tracks, the Bartman, Do the Bartman.
Okay, then I did have that one.
Yeah. So I remember I was one of the coolest kids in elementary school because I knew all the words to the Bartman.
Do the Bartman.
Everybody, if you can do the Bartman. I don't remember them now, but at one point that was my claim to fame. I could do the whole song.
I thought it would have been more of you could do the Digital Underground thing, which you still do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a far more eternal song.
Yeah.
And also, one that I learned more recently because, when I was in elementary school, I did not appreciate the subtle nuances of the Humpty Dance.
Yeah, well, when you're in school like that, you're not going to appreciate songs like that.
Yeah, elementary school is a little early to appreciate, I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom.
Yeah, you just knew it was a funny line, but you didn't know why it was a funny line. Because also another one I can think about was 2 Live Crew.
Oh, I remember 2 Live Crew.
Yeah, 2 Live Crew had a lot of songs on the radio. And when they started playing and you were listening, you're like, oh, this is a good song. Not knowing what any of the lyrics were.
Well, also, if you're listening on the radio, though, 2/3 of the lyrics were faded out.
Yeah.
Because, the radio edits of the 2 Live Crew stuff was radio edits, even today, strike me as kind of absurd. Okay, you're going to bleep out or, shade out or fade out, or you somehow remove the curse words from a Kendrick Lamar song. And Kendrick Lamar, whatever you think of Kendrick Lamar, he has put a lot of thought into his lyrics. Yeah. And if he is choosing to curse, he is doing it very deliberately. And so you are just basically ripping out a part of the song. Even if it is a curse word, you are, screwing with the meaning of the song.
Yeah, which changes the tone of the song because it doesn't make any sense. And then once you actually purchase the album and listen to an actual song with its intended lyrics, you're like, this is different. Why is it changed so much? And you're like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Got it.
I don't know. Marketing music must be, there must be some tricky parts of it, but for the most part, the censorship of music for curse words, I get that on the radio. Mm-hmm. So, but there are so many other ways to get music now, but still, remember what was the CeeLo Green song?
Yeah. Oh,
Forget You! Yeah, it was not Forget You, folks, but there was a version where he squeezed an extra syllable into the main chorus of the title of the song.
Yes. I both like and dislike that song because once it was coming out and it got popular and you start seeing the videos and CeeLo Green was becoming somewhat of a household name before he got very problematic now.
Wait, he's problematic now?
Yeah,
what did he do?
So word was that he would send a scout out before shows to scout out some women to come backstage for relations.
It's just like, hi, I'm the manager. Would you like to fuck CeeLo Green?
Essentially, it was kind of like that.
Imagine having that fucking job.
That is a job and a half because that's really kind of weird.
Yeah.
It kind of is like, I guess like some of these, the women are, able and willing.
Yeah.
But
there must be something to the novelty of being able to say you slept with CeeLo Green.
yeah, but the thing is, it's like not all of them are sleeping with CeeLo Green. Out of the pool of like, say, if that guy went out, pulled, 15 to 20 women, maybe 2 to 3 of them probably slept with CeeLo Green, and then all the others slept with like bandmates and other people that were there. So, they're under impression. They're like, ooh, I'm going backstage to meet CeeLo Green. And then they hit you with the like, hey, he wants to get, a little bit more personal with you. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they're okay with that. But then they get to the part where it's like, oh, CeeLo was like, oh, he's not really interested, but you can still be back here with these other bandmates that are here. And they may run train on you. I'm like...
And they may run a train on you.
They may. We don't know.
It's part of the backstage pass fine print.
Well, they didn't purchase a backstage pass, so all that stuff just kind of goes out the window. So they're like, hey, we didn't force them back here. And then people could just put their hands up there like, we didn't force them back here. We didn't force them to do whatever they want to do. We just kind of implied it.
Sorry, I'm not yawning at the subject matter, folks. I'm yawning because I have been sleeping poorly recently.
Yeah, it happens. It sucks, but it's fine. But I thought about something, and I was bringing... Calm down, man.
No, you were suddenly really saying, but I thought about it. Like, you have a solution.
No, I don't have a solution to that.
But we have an abrupt segue.
Yeah, we have an abrupt segue.
Is this something you're thinking about in the car and decided not to say because you wanted it for the podcast? Yes.
Well, it's like I don't save everything for a podcast, but this has a good, I'd say a good idea kind of generator. So if you were able to say go back in time and change, like say one thing in history, because like we were talking about this earlier. What did I mention? I think it was, I forgot what.
Me too.
All right, whatever. Doesn't matter.
This is why we record this stuff.
Yes, this is why we record this stuff so we can timestamp it later on. We're like, yeah, we talked about this at this point. So if you were able to go back in time and change, like say, one thing in history to see how it would affect the world, what would you change?
Now, there's a question that I can't come up with a sudden response for.
It's not a sudden response for it, but I can tell you what mine would be.
What would yours be?
All right. So I would see how the effect would be if I were to, say go back in time, be able to, speak different languages, not seem like a threat, but go back in time before other cultures got to North America. So, like, say, the Pilgrims, I know Christopher Columbus was somewhere else. But before all these other nations came over, took over. So I can just come back and warn people that are native and be like, hey, I'm not a threat, but I want to let you know some big-ass boats are going to be coming. They're going to be coming with some people. Don't take any of the blankets. Don't give them any food. Fuck those people.
Just shoot at them.
Just shoot at them. And they're like, oh, we're friendly. I'm like, yeah, I know. Be friendly to your people. Fuck them people. So if they come over here and nope, just tell them to go back. And I want to see how that would, kind of affect the world. To
see if the native culture had developed alongside at its own rate.
Yeah. Because to see how a native culture would how they would accelerate or how the country would be, and also to see how how the population, because like it's really, you read in like just some of the history books of like Trail of Tears and like shit like
Oh
that.
yeah,
You're
among many other fun, horrible things that we did.
Just the fucking horror. I was like, oh God, what the fuck? And then that's only like something that you read in the history book, like in class. But then you read it like if you read more history from people that are actually native, and they're like, oh yeah, these are stories that have been told from generations, and they're like, oh, it's so much worse than you think, and you're like, oh God, that is horrific. So I would go back, see how that kind of affects the world, but it would be kind of.
Now, do we have to worry about potential paradoxes? Because I should point out though, if you disrupt the initial contact nations, then you are also going to disrupt the triangle trade, and probably your ancestors would not be here to make.
Yes, I know. There's a whole there's a lot of stuff that would be affected by that, but maybe it'd be something where you can go back, change history change everything in history, come back to the timeline, and maybe see what happens, and then maybe it'll just kind of reset again.
You need some kind of time travel passport. It's like I wasn't born in this timeline, but honestly, I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, because I would love to see how that would affect the world. Because guess what? We probably wouldn't have all these fucking billionaires out there because of that. Because they were essentially the billionaires are taking up all the natural resources and then making the money off of that. But that's just my thought. I don't know. I didn't put crazy thought into it or mapped it out. This is just me spitballing. Do you got anything?
Well, now I feel like I have to match the scale of that.
Oh, you don't have to
trying to alter the course of human history.
Well,
I kind of go back and says no, I would have totally asked this one girl out in high school.
Yeah, why not? It doesn't have to be anything significant. It could just be I wish I would have did this and said this. Or, I want to go back and see the, see the actual timeline of when your parents meet or something like that. Because, a lot of times, people our parents will give you a love story, their love story, how they met. They're like, oh, we met at a dance, and I saw your dad over there, and he wasn't able to approach me, so they'll come up with some kind of stuff on something where it seems a lot more romantic.
You're going to find out you were conceived at an orgy.
There are some out there, and it sucks that you'll find that out. But there's also times where your parents are telling you a story. They're like, "Oh, saw them. They were over there." Your dad's not going to say "Yeah, your mom got those titties," and
so I was attracted to her because of the book she was reading.
No parents are going to tell that story of oh, I heard about your dad and his big dick, so I had to.
The story of my life begins with a porno that my parents were starring in.
Yeah, no one I'm thinking about it now. So we're in 2025.
We're almost through it, folks.
Yeah, we're almost through it at this point. There are 20-year-olds out there who were conceived because of juveniles back that ass up. Because that song came on, they said they were going to take over for the 99 and 2000s, and these women got on the dance floor. They're like, ooh, and they're just shaking their ass left, right, up, and down, whatever direction they want to shake it.
The worst part is that it took me a good 10 seconds to realize you were talking about an artist and a song. Mm-hmm. It's your juveniles backing that ass up. That is exactly what leads to teen pregnancy. And, oh shit! Now I remember that song.
Okay.
It's one of those fun linguistic things that it worked out both ways.
I'm glad you did not get it. Okay. Yeah.
Occasionally, I'm so white that it hurts. Oh.
Just every once in a while, maybe. Just when not a lot of times.
It's not a constant thing, but occasionally I have bouts of acute whiteness. It's not a chronic condition.
It's just chronic whiteness.
Are you afflicted by chronic whiteness?
Do you not put any seasoning on your food?
No. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Remind me to come back to the seasoning thing because I had a thought about that yesterday when I was driving. I wanted to hold that for the podcast. So we'll finish up your tangent about backing that ass up.
Oh no, I was done with it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, just
so write in. Let us know if you were conceived because of a hip hop song.
Yes, that's because anyone between the ages, I'm going to say between the ages of like say 27 to 24, you were probably conceived because of the song Juvenile made "Back That Ass Up." You probably can listen to it now. You're like, oh, this old hip hop song, and you're listening to it and having fun with it. But know that your mother was shaking her ass at a club, which she was allowed to do, and she met your father, who was like, yeah, I want to tap that, and then had you. Just know that, all right? Be comfortable with it. It happens all the time.
I choose to believe that my life came to being because of a Barry White song.
Was it?
I doubt it very much, but I'm going to go with that for the purposes of this podcast.
Your parents are like, ooh, Barry White. Yeah.
My first, my last, my everything. Like, I don't know, like, are there any bad stories about Barry White? Like, he's one of the people that everyone that has ever said anything about him likes Barry White. Like, he must have somebody that, he's, run afoul of, or he must have done something that pissed somebody off, but I've never heard any bad stories about Barry White.
I've never heard too many bad stories about him. Like, he was a university-liked man, great artist, but nothing where... No stories where I heard they're like, yeah, he abused women or did drugs or anything like that. He was just...
Like, he might have snaked somebody's parking space once. I mean...
He took the last slice of pizza at, like, our party. Like, fuck you, Barry White.
Pizza thief. Speaking of pizza, and returning to our previously bookmarked topic of seasoning.
Yes.
Was thinking about the whole idea, like the stereotype is that, white people don't season our food.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, and this is something that we would need to do more, like, global research on, but is...
Oh, is this part of the, like, is it racist thing?
Not necessarily is it racist, but we could frame it from that perspective if you want. But is it? I mean, clearly people that grew up in different like cultures, different conditions, grew up eating different kinds of food prepared by different people in different ways.
Yes.
And so, like, the classic joke, especially among black people, is that white people do not season their food because we have very bland palates.
Yeah.
But is it that we have bland palates, or is it that we taste seasoning in a different way, like so that less seasoning to us seems like the food is seasoned? And so is there, like, what is the amount where you would consider your food to be over seasoned, like there's too much on here, versus bland and under seasoned? And, like, I want to know, like, I want to find out, like, different groups of people and, like, where they grew up and how they grew up and, like, where that range is, because it's like with hot peppers, people have different tolerances for that. Like, some people, if you grew up in a region where hot peppers are part of the cuisine, you eat it and it's just delicious flavor, and then you can take it, you can share a bite of your lunch with your friend, and he will die.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. So is it just is it a matter of where you came from and what you grew up eating, or is there actually some, like, biological distinction in, like, how we taste food?
Now, that's a good question, and I kind of have an answer for it from how I was raised, how I was brought up. Because obviously I'm a black gentleman.
We've already done that. You're a black joke. We can't make that joke every fucking time this comes up.
black gentleman. My mom was actually she was born in California, but got her cooking skills from obviously my grandmother, who was from Texas, I believe. My grandparents on my mother's side were from Texas. My grandparents from my father's side, they were from Arkansas. So, still say someone in the South.
Yeah, but like Texas and Arkansas home cooking is probably very different from like Tennessee or Georgia or North Carolina home cooking.
But it's still probably still in the range of like say black cooking, which I'm gonna break it down. So typically in history, from what I remember, what I've read, and what I kind of know, is whenever black people or black people got meat, it was typically the bad parts of
It was the
meat.
offcuts.
It was the offcuts. It was a bad part of the meat. It was whatever it was that was not really edible. Not typically edible for mass consumption. But what they ended up doing was they're like, oh, since this is so bad cut of meat or this or whatever it may be, they had to use a lot of different seasoning to make it edible. So
also, there's the stewing techniques. There's a lot, especially one of my favorite meals that I will ever get to eat is it comes from the Brazilian enslaved culture. Mm-hmm. It's called feijoada, which was basically like after they butchered a pig, the slave owners would get all of the good choice cuts of the pig, leaving the like ears and the knuckles and the and so you couldn't eat it unless you boiled it for days. And so there's this stew they make, and it just involves every ingredient you can find, and then you cook it, to death for a long time, and it comes out absolutely delicious. So it's like someone taking, the offcuts and finding a way to make them amazing. And there's some heavy seasoning.
Yeah. So I think that, from that point on, it's always kind of carried through black culture. Be like, hey, make sure your food is like seasoned well. Make sure you're using this and this and this. So like, and I hate to say it, sometimes black people will over season their food. It does happen. And how you can tell is if you get like just say chicken, beef, whatever it may be, where you can't tell that it's almost like say beef or chicken or pork because all you can taste is pepper. All you can taste is cumin.
You've just described my complaint about teriyaki.
Yeah.
Like teriyaki, I love the flavor of teriyaki, but teriyaki chicken tastes like teriyaki pork, tastes like teriyaki beef, tastes like teriyaki leather. I mean, It is the same flavor no matter what you put it on. It overpowers whatever you're cooking. It's delicious, but it makes the thing you're putting it on totally irrelevant.
Yeah. So, like, that's the same thing with some black cooking, because sometimes they'll just go overboard with it, and you're like, okay, all I can taste is garlic powder, onion powder. That's all I can taste in here. And, it can pass because you may mix it with something else, but if that's all you can taste, you're like, oh, that's too much. But like say on the opposite end of that, like say when we kind of make the joke saying like white people can't season their food, sometimes that is true because like they'll maybe use like a quarter of a teaspoon of pepper, a quarter of a teaspoon of this, and you taste the meat, but the meat is like very bland. It's just like, okay, this meat was cooked, okay, cool, but there's no flavor to it. So sometimes that actually happens too. And it's not saying like this is not a general thing where it's like a generalization like every white person can't cook. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not on record for saying that. I just make the joke of like saying, yeah, there are sometimes people that cannot season their food, and you eat it, and you're like, okay,
you've seen the video of Oprah trying like the woman that won the mac and cheese national contest. It's like the look on her face.
She's like,
there's like sadness and confusion. Like, did you season this?
Yeah, it was, and like give it up for Oprah because like she still was a trooper where she gave you the face of like I'm disappointed in this, but I still also have to carry on with this show because I can't just like up and spit this out.
Now, speaking of flavors and things, between white culture and black culture, you explained it to me once. It's not that black people don't like mayonnaise; it's that white people fucking love mayonnaise.
Yes,
which I can't really argue against that. But
I don't know why. It's.
But like mayonnaise, has a flavor. I mean, it's a very, very like savory umami kind of thing.
Yes.
And so that would you say that mayonnaise counts as a seasoning or not?
No, it's a condiment.
Would a condiment not be a seasoning?
Not necessarily. Like, so, in my terminology for seasoning is like what you would put on your food while you're cooking it.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, salt, pepper, things like that are, I say, seasonings. But if you, like, say you cooked a burger and you put ketchup and mustard on it, I wouldn't call that seasoning. I would call that a condiment that you put on
the
it.
distinction is while you're cooking it or after you cooked it.
Okay. Yeah. But then you gotta get into where, like, say you already got your fries, like, say you fries and somebody already cooked them and they salted them, and what if you wanted more salt? So you put more salt on there, so I guess that'd be more seasoning at that point, but I'm not sure.
Oh, also, the nature of salt and pepper. Salt and pepper is on every table in the United States.
Yes.
But that's not true in some other countries. It's even though salt is the probably most common ingredient is for cooking ever, yes. But the idea that you should season your own food when you get it at the table. You adjust the salt and pepper to your liking when you get the food.
Yeah.
Versus the chef putting all the seasoning in, and it should be exactly how the chef wants it to taste when it gets to your plate. Yeah, that's done like over different cultures, and also even here, like you go to a high-end restaurant, they don't have salt and pepper on the table. Well, in some high-end restaurants, because
yes.
The chef has carefully calculated the exact amount of salt and pepper that he wants in the food.
Yeah, because they're essentially, when you think of like some chefs, they're scientists, really. Mm-hmm. And I think we talked about this before on the podcast, where they're carefully measuring everything. They're like, okay, if I want to make this cake, but I want to make it sweet but not overly sweet, like let me adjust this sugar from 2 cups down to like 1 1/3 cup, and they taste it. They're like, oh no, it's still not right. Let me adjust it down to 1.5 cups. Okay, I'm figuring out the measurements. Maybe I increase this or decrease this. Maybe I gotta use a different type of vanilla extract, or maybe I gotta use a different type of like brown sugar. Like they're figuring this out, like doing with essentially chemicals, because all this stuff is chemicals, and they're just kind of adjusting it to a way where they're like, my finished product is this. This is the perfect cake that I think is perfect, and that's what they kind of think. So, chefs are scientists, people. We're gonna say that. I said it on record.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, it's a science, trial and error, experimental method.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we got off. I think we kind of got off topic. So asking about seasoning. What else were we talking about?
Well, seasoning, and we're trying to frame it. We're not deciding whether we should ask this question as: is it racist to assume, white people and black people season differently because we're white and black people, or is it because of how we grew up, or is there a biological, distinction? Like, do you have a lower level of sensation for seasoning than I do, or a higher tolerance for something like spice?
I think it's probably just how you end up growing up and like where you are at. Because think about it, like say for Indian culture, like they use tons of spices over in India, where they're like, okay, they sell spices by the pound in bags, and it's like not mind-boggling to see, but when I see it, I'm like, oh shit. Where like they'll buy like 5 pounds of like paprika, like in a bag, and then just take it home. I'm like, I just got this.
Eat about a handful.
Yeah, like I just got this shaker. That's all I got.
Yeah, spices last a lot longer in most cuisines outside of India.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I can't back that up. That might have been a racist thing that I just said, actually.
It might be. I don't know.
You know, I feel like it's one of those maybe good kind of racist things because Indian food is awesome.
It is. It's fantastic.
So I'm going to say I'm mostly sorry for being racist there, but thank you for the food, India.
Thanks, India. We appreciate you.
Racism solved.
Yay! For a race that we're both not.
I mean, that's what makes it uncomplicated. We don't have. Okay, no, we're done with that joke.
I think we're done. Period. I think we're done for right now.
All right then. In that case,
yeah. Wait, where were we at?
we're at 35 minutes.
We can go more if we want.
Well, how funny are you feeling?
I feel very funny.
You look a little funny.
You know what? Shut the fuck up.
We got a few more minutes of funniness.
Yeah, we
Maybe even 1 minute of insightful, but probably not.
Well, we kind of are insightful because, like, as funny as we kind of are, fuck you, we're funny.
We're hilarious, damn you.
That's why you're watching right now. And also because of our sex appeal, so that's why too.
I mean, all this, and we make you laugh.
Yep. No, we kind of talk about stuff that's insightful too, because we're talking about like spices and how you're raised versus like say that I guess that's like nature versus nurture thing too. Mm-hmm. But it really is kind of like how you were raised and like where you were at. So like say like in my household, we used like a lot of seasonings when we were cooking. I'm not sure what it was like in your household, where like how much spice or like seasoning that was used.
I never really thought about it that much. I mean, because I never compared the cooking part to anyone else. Like the eating part, like some people's food, tasted spicier or had more seasoning or just different flavors than others. But it never occurred to me to even pay attention to the cooking part and see how much salt and pepper people were putting in. Like my mom is a huge believer in garlic salt. I mean, when she discovered garlic salt, that pretty much set the path of her culinary journey for the rest of her life. So garlic salt is, and I fucking love garlic salt. Garlic is one of my favorite flavors, but garlic salt is it's like a great shortcut for like anything savory. You can put garlic salt in there, and most people like garlic. Mm-hmm. Everybody likes salt.
Yes.
And it's one of those kind of can't miss spices unless you're baking.
Yeah, you're like, you don't want to bite in a piece of cake, and you're like, no.
Is this garlic? Oh.
Yeah, there's sometimes...
It's like my garlic and chive wedding cake.
I wouldn't know about that. That would be very weird. Because like there's sometimes people will get creative with their food, and you're like, you should not have done that. Like if you want to get creative, with your food, do it when you're by yourself, or just try to experiment yourself. Because there's sometimes people will try to get creative and then bring it for other people to try out. Don't try to do trials on other people. Do it for yourself, and then...
This also goes back into the question of whether it's nature versus nurture or a biological thing. If you are a vegan and you are used to eating vegan, if you are a good vegan cook, then that usually just means that you work with excellent ingredients, and if you are good at it, then you can make delicious things. Like there are vegan recipes that are fantastic, but then there are vegans that will give you something and say, "Honest, it tastes just like chocolate," and you got to look them in the eye and explain it does not.
You're like, you are a motherfucking lie.
Yeah, and it might be because they have not had actual chocolate ever in their life because they're lifelong vegan, or it's been so long since they've had it, they're so used to the substitutes like carob, that they just don't remember the nature of chocolate, which I'm not sure what it is about chocolate that is not vegan.
With the milk?
But that's only for milk chocolate. There's there are also dark chocolates, but it might be. I can't remember if dark chocolate qualifies as vegan or not. We might need to have our vegan ducklings chime in here, because I don't know many of the rules for vegans. I've only ever gone up to 5th degree vegetarian, where I don't eat anything that casts a shadow.
Simpsons.
Is that Simpsons?
It was.
Then And I stole it indirectly because I don't remember it from The Simpsons, but I definitely remember stealing that joke from somewhere.
Well, maybe they stole it from The Simpsons.
Probably.
It can happen because everything is related, ties back to The Simpsons. But yeah, I can understand that. But yeah, when they're trying to like, oh yeah, it tastes just like it tastes like that for you. Yeah. Like I had a chocolate bar 2 days ago. I bit into this. It's not enjoyable. Not as enjoyable. Yeah. Not that it's horrible, like horrific. Sorry.
No, but I'm with you. Like I will sing the praises of good vegan cooking forever because I have had delicious vegan and vegetarian stuff.
Yeah.
But vegan chocolate tastes like sadness. I'm sorry, folks. You have not figured the chocolate thing out yet.
Yeah, well, that's one of the realms that maybe they have to leave that one alone. They're like, maybe they could still make vegan cakes, vegan pies.
Yeah, and there are plenty of other things. Like the vegan figured out the trick. You can use applesauce to make a cake, like in place of flour, I think. I mean,
yeah,
it's like that's amazing.
I've done that with I think brownies. Instead of using vegetable oil, I think I use applesauce. I think they said that you can replace it for like 1-for-1. And it still turned out well. I'm like, ooh, this is still delicious.
And I remember years ago seeing it was a Good Eats episode with Alton Brown where he was talking about avocados and how avocado can essentially in many recipes be used as a replacement for egg. And so he had one of the recipes was making like ice cream with avocado as like the binding the fat agent. Yeah, which I'm still morbidly curious about. I never tried to make the recipe. I'm kind of curious because I know other cultures do have savory ice creams. I'm not sure if his was supposed to be a savory ice cream or if because avocado has such a mild flavor to begin with that it was supposed to be sweet and just use avocado in the actual recipe part of it. But I still want to try it. Yeah, I don't know that I want to commit to like eating a big bowl of avocado ice cream, but I definitely would want to taste it sometime.
I would try that too. I want to get myself one of those Ninja Creamies. So hey Ninja, if you want to sponsor us and send a Ninja Creamy.
What is a Ninja Creamy? I don't know that.
You can make your own ice cream, yogurt, sherbet. Like you can make all kinds of stuff.
Like an ice cream maker,
but faster.
Oh, okay. So like a fancy ice cream maker.
Yeah, like a fancy ice cream maker where you can. So you don't have to do the. Like essentially the ice cream maker was like always like a big tub, and you only can make like one kind of flavor because you're like, oh, let me throw vanilla, the rock salt, and stuff like that in there. This, you can just kind of use anything that you want to and make your own ice cream. But make it like in a personal size, like a container that like is probably like that big.
Interesting. Sounds kind of like a commercial or a consumer level Paco jet. You ever seen a Paco jet?
I don't know.
It's like a big $2,000 piece of equipment that like flash freezes stuff. So you can you push a button to make ice cream in like 5 minutes.
Oh shit!
Maybe not that fast, but it's one of those like super high end molecular gastronomy kitchen kind of things where it it does some sort of science magic to food and freezes it into an ice cream like consistency instantly. Not instantly, but yeah. Yeah. I'm going to stop trying to describe it because I've never actually gotten to use one. I've just seen them.
So you heard of it. Yeah, of it.
It's a thing. It's fancy and it's expensive.
There's a lot of expensive things, but I think the Ninja Creamy is like probably like $250. I don't got that, but if you want to send me one Ninja, I can talk about it to all of our, at this point, maybe I think total of 20 subscribers. We do appreciate you 20 subscribers right now. Because someone we know personally, Patrick, Maria, Jordan.
And like the three of you that have accidentally found us.
Denise.
Welcome. And thanks for checking us out.
Your brother. Probably.
I'm not sure if he's actually watched it yet or if he's just been morbidly curious about what I've been up to.
We know your parents don't watch it, unfortunately.
Yeah, although my parents, they did try. They watched the first episode, and
oh god,
that was enough to get them to never watch us again. So now I can just speak freely and not have to worry about my parents seeing it, unless like somebody else says like and sends a clip to my mom to show her and to shame me, which is definitely not outside the realm of possibility.
It wouldn't be your last shame because like I think I did title one episode like Daniel Shane.
Yeah, the fact that I have no clue what we could possibly be talking about is like, he's like, yeah, we've shamed me a lot on this show.
Well, we've shamed each other a lot on here. So, yeah, me just trying to say Yakuza.
Yeah, we are still looking forward to the long supercut of O trying to pronounce names.
Yeah, and then getting them wrong. And it's not intentional, folks. It fucking happens. No, we'll stop here.
Yeah, we are officially we are officially out of the funny, folks.
No, we're really not. We're just
we need to have the funny recharge.
Like we need to recharge the funny, so we'll just kind of shut.
Because otherwise, it's like over seasoning the podcast. You see what I did? How I neatly wrapped that up? That's never ever going to happen again.
It's callback. Yeah. They're like, oh, you got your... Okay, that's cute.
That's really, let me know when it launches. I'll like and subscribe. By the way, like and subscribe, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to say that.
Yeah, like, subscribe. Dirty. Like, subscribe, hit buttons, hit bells, do dinglings and things
Remember us.
Remember me.